สวัสดีครับอาจารย์ต่าย Today I am proud to present a short video clip. It's what a conversation with Mr. Robert, which he is a volunteer tourist police in Pattaya. The clip consists of me, คุณไมภูคุณกิฟต์ withคุณแนบ as a special guest. In this interview, this clip may have exceeded the time limit set the teacher. But with the conversation, the clip could not be made shorter. What will the story? Let's go. See.
Police cadet, yes.
This is the part of English class. Yes. So everything will be introduced by myself. Mr. Richard Matt will do.
Okay. Mr. Richard. คิดเดียวชาคริปคุณชาคริปพิจิกูล yes
I'm Gong.
กล้อง
Yeah.
okay easy
I think we call nickname.
Yes.
I'm Chow.
ชาว
Yep.
Chris
ปืน
เบือน
Gan.
undead okay well
And Kip.
คุณเกียรติ okay well I forget the names already so I'm very forgive me if I get it wrong okay I think it would be pointing to say hi what's your name oh yeah okay what do you wish to ask us what do you want to talk to us about tell us what you have been studying and tell us what you would like us to help you with Ralph and I are here to help you so please ask the questions and then when we know what you want we can talk more with you and help you more with the practice but the idea is practice English speak and listen in English so next question
Okay. For me,
Yeah.
I heard from my friend that who lived in Australia before. So they told me that everything can kill you in Australia. So is that true?
no not everything
Everyone lies in.
we have some dangerous things we have snakes but Thailand have snakes we have spiders but Thailand have spider we have kangaroos you don't have kangaroos not really but yes kangaroos can be dangerous if you put them into a confined area where they have to fight of course they can be dangerous so we're no more dangerous than Thailand
Okay, maybe.
Scotland very dangerous
Why?
Loch Ness monster yeah
No.
Scotland, nothing.
no. They eat everything already
Only thing in Scotland, maybe, and it's only silly people get killed. In the mountains, when the deer are working at antlers, you know, they break the antlers and maybe fight with the lady deer. If you get near them, they'll kill you with the antler because it's bone. And many people, big farmers and shit, will be killed. Yeah.
Because the big doesn't disrupt them.
The worst thing in Scotland, it will kill you. It's the wind and the rain. Because even though like the Scottish mountains is half the size of the Alps in Switzerland, there's more people die in Scotland in the mountains than in Europe because the wind cuts you like a knife. It cuts you like a knife. I've been hunting all my life.
So it means the temperature is really.
Well, I've been hunting all my life, and when you go up onto the mountains for the deer, you can actually just physically walk up in the air. The cold air will just hit you right there. Then it will just walk through your body. Yes. Slashes you like a knife. Cold. It's called the wind chill factor. wind chill will kill you. Kills more people than the snow. That's the danger for us in India.
Okay, because nature.
Your question.
Well, I've been hunting all my life, and when you go up onto the mountain for the deer, you can actually just physically walk up in the air. The cold air will just hit you right there. Then it'll just walk down your body. Yes. It slashes you out at night. Cold. It's called the wind chill factor. Wind chill will kill you. Kills more people than the snow. That's the danger for us in India.
Okay, because nature.
Your question.
Okay.
Your turn.
Yeah. First first question. Forget your name. Your name?
My name,
Again?
Robert.
Robert. Okay. I'm Tong.
Very nice to see you, Mr. Gong.
How long you stay in Thai?
How long have I stayed in Thailand?
Yeah.
About 20 years.
20 years. Can you speak Thai?
I cannot speak Thai.
Because
I can only speak English here.
yeah. And everyone you can speak Thai.
With other people, some people,
Some people.
I can speak Thai with some people. But here, I can only speak English.
Okay, yeah.
Okay?
Understand.
Yeah.
How old are you? Sorry.
How old am I?
Yeah.
Well, as my grandmother would say to me, I am as old as my little finger and older than my teeth. You understand that?
Yeah.
No?
Joking.
We are joking. When you are born, you have all your fingers, yes?
Yeah.
But you don't have your teeth. So I am as old as my finger,
Yeah.
but I am older than my teeth because my teeth come later. Yeah? So I'm joking you. I am 62 years.
62.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay? He's asking difficult questions. I think we have to get somebody else. Your turn.
You have ever been to Pattaya?
Have I ever been to Pattaya?
ถามถูกไหมเนี่ย
No, I understood.
Yeah.
I understood. What
เปลี่ยนคำถามใช่ไหม
bring you to Pattaya? Is that what she means?
Why?
Why come
Why,
to Pattaya?
why did I come to Pattaya? Or how long have I stayed in Pattaya?
ในนี้หรือว่าทำงานที่นี่หรือทำไมถึงมาอยู่ที่นี่อะไรอย่างเงี้ย
ใช่
เตรียมอาหาร
เป็นคำถาม
เชียงquestion.
Yes? Ask another question.
Do you like Thai food?
Yes, I like Thai food, but not too spicy. I like Thai food, but not spicy too much.
โอเค
ส้มตำเนาะ
Good. Yeah.
ต้มยำกุ้ง
Yes.
I have a problem with Tom Yum Goong because I am allergic to goong. Yeah. I have an allergy. Yeah.
ที่นี่หรือทำไมถึงมาอยู่ที่นี่อะไรอย่างเงี้ย
ใช่
เตรียมอาหาร
เป็นคำถาม
เชียงquestion.
Yes? Ask another
Do you
question.
like Thai food?
Yes, I like Thai food, but not too spicy. I like Thai food, but not spicy too much.
โอเค
ส้มตำเนาะ
Good. Yeah.
ต้มยำกุ้ง
Yes.
I have a problem with Tom Yum Goong because I am allergic to goong. Yeah. I have an allergy. Yeah. Your question.
First thing
To goong. Yeah. I have an allergy. Yeah. Your question.
okay. First thing I would like to say thank you all to try our cheese
ไม่เราก็โฟกัส
because our part is about 15 minutes.
Yes.
I saw.
8 นาที
I know you are the police volunteer, right?
Yes.
So we would like to know
Why did we join the tourist police volunteers? Okay, well, there is only a limited amount of time that you want to go to the beach. And when you are living here in Pattaya, you need to have something to do to keep active with your brain and your body. And so, for us, it is important to be able to give something back to the Thai people and to help the tourists and the people who visit here to understand and enjoy Thailand. That is why I got involved. I don't go to the beach very often, and sitting at home doing nothing is not good for the brain. So it is better to help people and get involved to do things with other people. And so that is why I'm involved. We are there with our officers. We always have to work with a tourist police officer. We may not do anything by ourselves. We have to do everything with the Thai tourist police.
น้ำอื่นไหมแบบ
Our
ที่มี
duties
ส้มมีเอามาเลย
working on Walking Street, doing duty on Walking Street, which is where many of the tourists go.
ไปนั่งไหมขอถ่ายให้
Some of them have problems. That can be their problem because they drink too much, or it can be that somebody tried to cheat them, or some lady or some transsexual decides to tell them they love them and they can have a problem, or somebody can steal their phone, or any other simple problem. And when people are distressed and unhappy, they immediately want to talk to somebody in their own language. And for the volunteers who can understand what they are saying, it makes it easier for them to communicate their problem, and then for us to arrange for the police officer to help them. Sometimes we have to just say, look, sorry, you were stupid. You really cannot expect people to be able to do anything. You are on holiday. This could happen to you whether you are in Germany, Italy, any country. You have to take care yourself. Some of the problems, of course, we can assist them with. And we try to make sure that they don't get cheated and that they don't cheat Thai people as well. Because not all tourists are good. It works both ways.
That's true. I've been walking street 7 years. Most weeks just walking street 7 years. Most maybe 3 nights. You know, it's a lot. I see it all the time, but sometimes things happen. And there's nothing you can do about it. The one that always sticks in my head here, I can see it now. This was years ago. And I was at the desk with Captain Sukachai. And two Thai lady come down, she said, down here, she said, there's a falang and it's not good. So we went down. And Captain Sukachai was 100% correct. 100%. The man was walking, nothing, because he'd never done anything wrong. He's just in here maybe, you know. 2 hours later, he threw himself out a window, naked. We had to run down the street, secure the area. Yeah, I see many things. What I'm meaning by that is, that's very rare. Okay? But my point is, there's some situations we cannot help everybody. And then one night, we had to run out onto the beach road because a tourist drowning.
But it's more likely
But
that
that's
we get
rare. What I'm trying to tell you is, that's very rare. That's me 7 years in walking street and only seen not many cases of very bad things. Most it's stupid.
Sometimes a husband or a boyfriend and girlfriend have an argument, and one goes this way and one goes that way, and they get lost. Oh, where's my girlfriend? Where's my boyfriend? Oh! And you have to try and get them to find out where their friend is because they're not thinking very clever. One of them may have gone back to the hotel. Maybe they've gone to have a drink somewhere else. But the idea is to try and get them back together so that they sort out their problem.
Yeah. And
These are things that we have to deal with.
Sometimes you've got to deal with the Chinese tourists. I can't speak Chinese. And he can't speak Thai, so we're equal. But it's simple. You just stop, get the phone out, you go translate. I go English to Chinese, he goes Chinese to English. Then the officer says, just tell him bye.
Bye bye. Same problem when I'm under guide and a local guide in Krabi province. So I have the problem. I can communicate with the Chinese people as well. So I ask them, oh, can you speak English? They answer me a little bit. Same. Okay, it's okay.
A very common one as well. I don't think I'd go to the next day. Japanese tourist, she said, I've lost my passport. So we went back to the bar, and I joked like that. We don't have to need an officer with us, as long as the officer gives us permission to go. So when we go in his name. You understand me? That's how it works. A lot of people don't know that. So we go back, no, she can't find the passport, blah, blah, blah. I said, did you leave it in your room? No, 100%, she said. We sent her back to the room. What did she find? The passport. Number one thing is, people think they take it with them, but it's not with them. It's in.
A lot of the times when you're talking to somebody, you have to ask who, where, when, why, how. Because with that information, you can often make a decision and be able to help them. But many times, you don't get the full picture.
Yes.
And that is the important thing for us, is to understand what happened.
Yes.
Because if there's a fight or a dispute between two people, there are two stories.
Yes.
And you have to be able to understand both sides of the problem
Yes.
before you can get it fixed.
If the story's gone on too long, I remember, if the story's gone on too long, I keep using Captain Sugar. They're always with him, you know. Captain Sugar says, oh, Classy, we don't believe you, we don't believe you.
Your turn.
Okay.
Yes, your question
One
again.
question.
ที่ต้องทำยังไง
เราหมุนวนกันไป
Okay. Yeah.
round table
Okay.
question
ถามก็ถาม
Not question, like
no worry
You don't worry, because we meet people who have different languages who can't understand. It's okay. It's your country, so don't worry about it. At least you speak Thai, you know you speak English.
you write in อะไรในประเทศไทยส่วนเข้ามาในประเทศไทยมันต้อง you write
Everything in Thai.
everything no ไม่ใช่ everything นะ
You
write
What do you like
what
best?
what you write ในประเทศไทย
Something.
what
oh impressive what impressive in Thailand right
What we like best about Thailand?
yeah
For me, I tell you, I find, oh, cheers,
การ
slange.
focusing, please.
Oh, excuse me.
ลดความเย็น
Leo, very good.
Leo. Yeah.
I like him. For me, I used to drive big trucks and bus all over Europe, all over UK. I came to Thailand because I'd never been Asia. What made me come to Thailand? Because I watched a documentary on television many years ago, and it was with the king and how he was, how you say, like building dams, how to build to preserve the water. I like that kind of thing because where I come from, we have dams, but hydroelectric water makes electricity. But what I liked when I started coming, I sat down and I looked and I watched, and I noticed I had quite a lot, even though this is Asia and I'm not Europe, I'm away northern hemisphere. In Thailand was particularly good for me because Thai people like good joke, like laugh, they've got me. Like drink, I like that. I was away for 8 years. I was home then, you know. And we both get, even though we're different parts of the world hemispheres, we both get things in common. We're both very ancient countries. We go back thousands of years. Yeah? And we've both never been conquered. Scotland's never been conquered near Thailand. You see it? And I could get on good with people. I understood them. Even though that doesn't mean I understand the culture, I just understood them. That's what I meant. And the Thai food for me is number one. No, because I have a genetic disorder in my body. Thai food is really good for me. Really good for me. Your turn.
Done a good job.
The truth.
We'll ask somebody else. Is there which direction we have this one? Your question, I think, is it?
Yes, okay.
Yep, again. Khôngต้องเซอร์วิสมากโฟกัสก่อน
Okay. So, both of you live in Thailand for many years. What about girlfriend in Thailand? Do you have any?
My girlfriend's Filipino.
Okay.
I had the Thai girlfriend. She was good. Chai Pum, I was in it a lot. Chai Pum. Chai Pum. Chai Pum. Chai Pum. And her mum and dad had farm with me today. Loved it. In the countryside. Yeah, loved it. Out fishing. The rice, cut the rice. I don't cut the rice, I just watch them cut the rice. You know, in case immigration come for line hosting, you know.
อ๋อถึงว่าเว่าอีสานได้
Let's speak Isan.
Definitely.
เข้าร้านเข้าก็ได้
For me, I have tended to stay single. I've had a couple of short relationships, but usually I think the cultural differences tend to be a little bit challenging, and therefore it is very difficult. When you're older, you tend to have a direct way of doing things. When you are younger and you're used to being with somebody, you are probably more flexible in the way that you think and work with people. When you get older, you tend to be set in your ways. In other words, you like to do things your way. So if I'm wanting to watch TV, I don't like it when somebody picks up the remote and suddenly changes the channel or things like that. And those are the problems that, unless you are very understanding, can make a problem. Little grains of sand in the shoe and you get a sore foot. That's my thinking.
Robert made a good point there about the culture. You know? See, that's what I was meaning between your country and my country. You know how in the villages they've got the hierarchy. In the Thai village, you've got the boss and comes down.
Yeah.
Well, see, in Scotland, that's like a clan system. We have clans, family, groups. You know, Ireland as well. Mine's an Irish name, but other lot of Scottish. You know, it's the same system. Yes, I did say that to you. Yes, there's things I do not understand, but it was easy for me to try and understand because it was similar, not the same. It's I could understand. That's why in Chai home, no problem for me. No problem.
But I think also being foreigners and particularly being in Pattaya, that there is a reputation in Thailand about the people that come to Pattaya and why they come to Pattaya.
Yes.
And so therefore we have to be extra careful that we do not fall victim to somebody who likes our wallet more than they like our heart. And that part of it can be a challenge as well. And it makes you more careful about who you are introduced to.
Yeah, that's true. My girlfriend from Chai home, she would always say, when she say I come from Pattaya, she say, oh, come on, come tell.
I think it's also a question of possibly the class of people when we are here in Pattaya, quality of the people we are meeting with all respect is different to what you would be meeting if you are working, for example, in Silom Road or in Bangkok. The quality of people and what they're working here are different. So again, they have a different education, they have a different aspiration, what they're wanting, and therefore it makes it very difficult for the foreigner to understand. And that is why there are so many people that get into so many problems that we see
Yes.
that come to Pattaya as a tourist, and they think that Pattaya is Thailand.
Correct.
And Pattaya is not
Thailand.
Thailand. And this is a major problem.
Yes, that's 100% correct. Pattaya is not Thailand, it's a city in Thailand. It does not represent Thailand or Thai culture.
Yeah.
It's nothing to do with Thailand.
This is a
It's a
big,
big problem. So when they come here and they see the bar and they see things, they go, this is Thailand. Big problem, they go China for me.
That's also I heard
Nothing there.
that. People think Pattaya is Thailand. This is the first time.
Yes. So when they go to somewhere else,
And almost the
That's a
same,
legal
and
problem.
almost the same with Phuket too.
Yes.
I lived in Phuket for 12 years, and I know Phuket fairly well. And again, a lot of the people would come on holiday to the west coast, particularly of Phuket Island. Party time,
yes.
Same, yeah.
and it's not
That's
Thailand.
right. And you've also got to remember that when I'm sitting, people are sitting in their country, like if you're in Scotland now, you see an advert from on television for Thailand, for Thai tourism. It's Thai culture and Thai countryside. It's not the bars. You understand? Thailand promotes itself the way it should be.
Yeah. Amazing
But-
Thailand,
Amazing Thailand.
Thailand, the unseen Thailand.
That's correct. That's
yeah.
absolutely correct. And Robert says it's correct. When he touched down here, they don't want to go anywhere else. You see what I mean?
Well, they have a good time. It's party time. They're on
Party time.
holiday. We've got money. And this is also the problem for the people, for the Thai people that are here. They think, oh, this foreigner has money. They forget that he has to work for 8 months, 9 months, 10 months, saves his money so he can come here for 1 month's holiday. He spends, oh, it's party time. Then he goes home and he gets the credit card bill and he has to work 8 months to come back again.
I'm
And they think, oh, it's good, we've got a rich foreigner.
I'm the opposite.
Instead, he isn't. This is a big problem.
I'm the opposite. I like to work for 1 month and stay here for 8.
Party time.
Yeah, this is the
I don't
problem.
deny it. I
It's a
enjoy
big
myself
problem
here.
for us.
But I've taken many years to, but I was saying to the lady earlier on, and Robert, I've been going to the same bars for 9 years, 7 years with tourist, but 9 years. I only go to the same bars. I don't venture out. When I go in, I sit and talk to the boss of the bar, and talk to other tourists who've been here a long time, same as me. We don't have the same in common with other people that come from us. I just stay away from them. Bang, go. You know?
Now, I think it's the lady's turn to ask a question. Your turn.
How do you like? How do you think about security Pattaya?
Security in Pattaya. Okay.
That's a good question.
Well, are we talking about the security for the tourists, or are we talking about the security of the city? What sort of security are you asking me? That's a question being asked of a question, so I'm probably on
ก็
fire.
คือเขาถามว่าการที่จะเจาะในเรื่องไหนเรื่องความปลอดภัยของนักท่องเที่ยวของทั้งหมดของพัทยาภาพรวมอะไรอย่างนี้หรือทางเกาะหรือของโพลิสของตำรวจของอะไรอย่างนี้อ่ะ
Okay, well, Pattaya is a relatively safe place.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
for us as tourists, it is a relatively safe place
Yes.
as long as you use your head. Would you walk down a dark street in New York? No, Would you do it here in Pattaya? No. But in walking around in a normal place, you're quite safe.
Yeah.
Okay, if you walk down Beach Road at 3 o'clock in the morning and there's not many people around and there's some big lady boys hanging around on the beach, I think you're probably a bit silly to be there because you could have a problem.
Yeah.
But most of the police, they are patrolling. They know what's going on. We have a lot of cameras. Some of them are working. So again, there is some security from that. But most of the problem comes, or the system is, you have to be responsible for yourself. You have to take care of yourself, as you would anywhere in the world.
Yeah. I'd agree with that.
You know, okay, you go with your hotel, they give you instructions. Lock the door. Don't let a stranger come in. If you do happen to have a new friend who's going to come and visit you, go to the security and register them at the hotel. Now, some of the foreigners are shy. They don't want to be seen to bring a friend. We have to, or Thailand has to say to them, look, we don't care. Just register so that we know who you are, and if something happens, we know who to go after. That is where we need to change things a little bit. Most of the time, things are fairly safe.
Yeah.
Okay, there are gangs of people that perhaps, like any city, ride a motorbike and steal a lady's handbag. But quite often it's the lady's problem because she's wearing her handbag on the side where the road is. If she wore it on the other side, probably doesn't have the problem. There are lots of little things like that which really, if I was in charge of it all, I would have a brochure or something to give to the people at the airport saying, hey, use your brain and do these things.
Yeah.
Don't take your passport out from your pocket. Take a copy of it. Lots of simple things where you don't make an opportunity for a bad person. Now, okay, Thai people tend to go out together in twos. Foreigners may be more individual, and that makes more of an opportunity for bad people. But if you go to a discotheque, you don't leave your drink on the table because maybe somebody will put something into it. But you wouldn't do that in England, you wouldn't do it in Australia, you wouldn't do it in Scotland. So you can't say it's Thailand's fault.
No,
It's
not.
a thinking problem.
Correct.
You have to take care of yourself. Some of the problems that foreigners get themselves into is not, as Ralph says, knowing the culture. Stepping on somebody's foot in a discotheque and not saying sorry. Somebody, talking to a girl who's got a Thai boyfriend. Suddenly, you get a problem. But you'd have the same problem in Australia or Scotland if you talk to somebody else's girlfriend. So, the simple things are, take care of yourself.
Yeah.
Okay, if you're going to buy things, you have to take care of your money. Yes, it's strange money, so you have to know how much you're being charged and how much change you get. Simple. Same in every country.
So you meaning safety and security is everybody's responsibility?
Everybody's responsibility.
Yeah.
Not just the host country.
Yeah.
It's everybody.
We try to talk everybody.
Start from the individual.
Yeah, it starts from the individual.
You take it when you started. I've watched it down.
I have some question.
Yes, please.
Last month ago, Pattaya have firework festival.
Yeah,
Yes.
I working.
I want to know how many crime problems.
I don't think there were that many crime problems at the fireworks. You see, what happens is, as you probably know, there is the firework area and the seating area, which is protect it. And the officers and the volunteers, their job is to check to maintain security within that area. So in other words, we are checking for the COVID, the two vaccination, the temperature, people having masks,
No water, no food.
make sure that they don't take in sharp objects, cigarette lighters and things that might cause problems. So our job is to assist the city council and the police in making sure that it is a safe place for families. Of course, there are a lot of people who don't go into that area, who are drinking alcohol and having a party. But all we can do is to take a patrol and try and make sure that it is calmed down and that they are not causing problems to other people. But that is the job of the police everywhere.
And
Correct?
Yes, that's right.
that's problem for traffic jam.
Traffic jams, well, we have two big streets. And we have, this is an ordinary town. It is not built for fireworks festivals where you have thousands of people coming down from Bangkok, all in cars. You look, how many places are there to park a car? Okay, that's your first problem. Then we go and close roads, and we don't tell people that we're closing those roads. So somebody who's going from here to there suddenly finds they have to go that way.
Yeah, and they close them at the wrong
And they
place.
don't close them at the wrong place,
Close them at the wrong
and they don't tell people, and then suddenly a volunteer is standing there saying, no, 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 you can't go down there. Yes, I can. No, you can't. Yes, and this becomes a problem. This is mainly our Thai volunteers that have to do this
No,
because
they do that. We do.
we don't like to
We do.
try and tell a Thai
Very rarely
that they
we do
can't
that.
do something. But the Thai volunteers have this as a problem because the road closures sometimes don't get thought out.
No, they don't get thought out. That's just a fact.
I'm just being polite. Sometimes.
Sorry.
I'm putting in a 50-50 chance.
50-50.
Yeah.
That's it.
But you can certainly see, if you take a map of Pattaya and see where they close the roads and you think, we're here until you tell us go away, we've had enough.
Oh, when you're finished,
When you're finished, we're finished. Okay?
I don't start drinking.
Mate Kun. My cats might be upset.
Okay, for my question,
Some tell more.
we are studying for the security management.
Yes.
For the purpose of this class, we would like to improve the security system, especially when we talk about the security guard in Thailand.
The security guard?
Yes, security guard in Thailand.
Oh.
You know, it's
Oh.
but
Yep.
when we talk security guard in Australia, in anywhere, oh,
So
Okay. Well, no, well.
how we can
Okay. I think that when you're talking like that, the people are coming from the same educational background, whether they are in my country or your country. You don't get brain surgeons being security guards. I think that would be fair in Thailand and also fair in my country. A person who is a security guard at the door generally is coming from a different background to somebody who might be going to university. Okay? They are, we,
Obviously, my country too.
yeah, the people who are working at the door of a club are not a university person. They are just an ordinary tamada.
but Thailand come from farmer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So do our people. Many of our people in Scotland and Australia come from. Yeah. They leave school when they're 15 or 16. Okay? So it is the same. But we, in Scotland and in Australia, you have to get a license. Okay? Which means that you must have training in CPR, in self-defense.
I'm not sure. But
I'm not, like, I think there's a basic self-defense, and also in being able to deal with people talking, because it's easier to use this than to use that. And so therefore, there are all these things. There is also a little bit of training to do with the law, because a security guard is your first point of contact if you are going into a club. So he needs to know, do you have ID? Are you drunk when you're coming into my club? Because if you're drunk, we don't want you. Because then it gives us a problem.
Yeah.
Well, then that is your problem as the owner of the club. You have to be educating your staff. And the administration, whether it's Bangkok, Pattaya, Phuket, Chiang Mai, Korat, wherever, has to have a responsibility as well. And everybody has to work together to make a safe environment for people to enjoy.
Aye. I don't know about Australia, but I'll probably be the same. But in Scotland, if you work in a bar, yeah, and you're serving drink, and if you're drinking too,
You're not allowed to in my country.
police will close the bar.
Yeah, we're not allowed to work and
Close the
drink.
bar. If you're serving drink, and he's going, oh, you have a drink? No, okay, no problem.
No,
Police
they're not.
down, out. Security, drinking, out. Close the bar, everything. Out. Even if
You're working, when you finish
500
work,
people in the bar,
drink.
out. Closed.
Yeah. You cannot drink when you're working. Illegal.
So you think what's the main point if we need to improve the security guard in China?
Management. The managers can't sit and do nothing. The manager has to learn to take responsibility for his business. He has to say, hey, you must not drink. You must do your job. You must not sit there on your telephone and let everybody go walking inside. There's lots of things like that, which is all, okay, people have rules, but as I was saying before, there is no enforcement of the rules. And what we have to do is enforce the rules. You've got to be a manager and you have to manage it.
That's a good question, and you're right. But I've watched a change in Walking Street before it closed down, maybe 2-3 years before it closed down. It was a big change. The security weren't drinking.
No.
They were not. And there was problems. They weren't dealing with it themselves, they come to us.
Well, I said to
They come to us and we go.
Yeah. I said 5 years ago to our inspector at the time what we should be doing, and this is a volunteer so I can't say to the inspector very strong, but I can only suggest, is that they talk with City Hall and the Royal Thai Police and get together and set up a licensing system for the security guards and the rapport and the bouncers, and they give them an ID so that they can actually see who they are and you know that they've been trained. They've brought some of it in,
Yeah,
but
that's right.
they haven't done it as we would do it in the West.
Yeah. They have, you've seen them now.
Yeah, they have ID security, but it doesn't actually mean that they know what they're doing. And that is the difference, I think, is that we need to educate them so that you have confidence in them if you are a customer, and confidence in them if you are the manager or the owner of the business. They are your first line to deal with your customer. If they are rude to customers, the customer says, goodbye, I'm going next door.
Right.
You lose business.
When that's right.
And this is where it is very important if the first line of people is courteous, is polite, is welcoming, but at the same time is strong to say, please, I need your ID. Please, you're not allowed to take that lighter in, or please, you're not allowed to take that gun in. This is where we have to educate the people who are further down, who are going to actually do the work. because we all know that for 20 minutes everybody is very, very efficient. And then we all go to sleep. We've seen it in Pattaya many times, the people wanting to come into the concerts after an hour. Come through the back door. If that was a terrorist, we have a problem.
Finally, we thank you for Teacher Tai, Teacher Boon, special lecture from Kasetsart University, who come to help as a mentor, including Mr. Robert and the one I did mention in the first place was Mr. Ralph, which is also volunteer tourist police in Pattaya. Thank you again for the past tutorial, and we will bring it back to develop to the future, enhance our capability. Thank you very much. ขอบคุณครับ